If there was no religion, wouldn't the world be a better place?
Now you see, I can immediately make out that Sudeo has been reading Richard Dawkins, and I don't blame him one bit. At the moment, Richard Dawkins is the hero for the modern youth because he's presenting the idea of nature of reality, nature of the world in a very rational, very sensible manner, which in a way steals the hearts of modern youth. And he's the hero, and I don't blame the modern youth for linking up with him and linking up with his ideas. And this is the question he's been firing away, and I don't blame him as well, saying that, look, the reason why I'm anti-religious, if we can use that language, is because religions are a problem and not a resolution of humanity. You seem to be bringing so much baggage and so much nonsense that is cluttering up modern society. It is perhaps time to send you away, send you off, saying your sell-by date is gone, let's get rid of you, and the world will be a better place. This is the crying kind of issue that arises from Richard Dawkins and the modern youth, Hindu as well as non-Hindu. I'm telling you, majority of youngsters today relate to Richard Dawkins than any of prophets of the world. Majority, whether it's Hindus or non-Hindus. But so be it. You see, why should we be frightened? Here is a person very passionate about rationality. In fact, I just watched this series called Enemies of Reason. Now you like the title straight away. How dare anybody be enemy of reason, reasoning? So he calls all these kind of airy-fairy stuff enemies of reason, or religious people as enemies of reason. So he's telling the people of religion, unless you can rationalize your enterprise and tidy up yourselves and give us a very kind of cogent, a cohesive enterprise which is sensible and self-consistent, then go away, don't bother us, you are a bother for humanity. And how does he do it? I'm deliberately expanding on the question that you asked in a very pointed manner. He says, first of all, look, you have got so many different religions with so many multitudes of worldviews. So you can't all be right, can you? In simple, he's saying you all have different gods, so who started us off? Which god is real for real? So if one is real, the rest must be wrong then, surely. So first of all, he wants to play one religion against another. It's not that he's using some kind of political ploy to demolish religions. He's simply saying, using common sense, all of you can't be right. So first of all, sort yourselves out, guys. You've got so many different religions, so many different ideas about spirituality and God. Some of you don't even have a God in your religion. So what is going on? The whole thing is surely nonsense. So this is a very blunt question. And in fact, this is what he claims. He's saying that the problems we see in the modern world is really the problems which arises in the name of religion. Now, if you open the newspaper, switch on the television, it hits you in the face straight away. Look, today is 9/11. It's very famous for conflict in the name of religion, for fighting in the name of religion. So, can you blame him for saying religions are a problem? Because you can see, whole 3,000 people being murdered on this day. So he's saying, look, you are a problem. You leave us alone. Go away. He's telling religious people, go away. You see, now let us explore it in more greater detail. Not that there is anything wrong with Richard Dawkins or this kind of a very rational, secular worldview. There is nothing wrong. The religion that we come from does not feel offended by such challenges or feel worried about such challenges. It encourages them. He says, so what has happened? When the religious communities were living in isolation from each other, they seem to be quite reasonable, kind of doing good philanthropic work in the name of religion for their own communities. If you look at the history of humanity, you see different religious communities, whether Catholics or whether Protestants or various Hindu movements, they were doing good things for their own society. They were working for the betterment of greater society because they're told, be good to others, look after each other. So all these marvelous ideas and values were, if you like, infused in society under the guise of religion, whether right or wrong, correct? Right or wrong. So they worked well. Suddenly the world has become a global village and we have to kind of literally live on each other's, live next to each other so quickly. And you can't isolate yourself or live in isolation. Different communities cannot live in isolation with each other. So the moment they are forced to live with each other, immediately rumblings and problems, friction. So does it mean that we should abandon all the religions? No. The resolution is, this is a lovely thing to explore again as a rationalist. Whenever you have different systems that don't sit well together, they are going to create friction. Suppose you are studying physics and suppose you are studying chemistry. And the laws of physics somehow and the ideas of physics somehow were not fitting in well with the chemistry or biology. Then you got, if you like, disjointed systems and you can't just push them together and they're going to create friction. Means either physics is wrong or chemistry is wrong. because they don't agree. So you need to, how do you solve this? You need to look at a reconciliation at the deeper levels. When you look at the smaller than the smallest in physics, you say, this gives the idea of chemical bond. In chemistry, marvelous, there's a linkage. Instead of being at loggerheads with each other, they begin to become complementary to each other and enhance each other, give each other greater validity. The same is required on the modern world stage, which we are ignoring, and that is to find reconciliation between variety of religious worldviews as well as a secular, science-oriented worldview. You need to reconcile. If you can reconcile, suddenly what appears like a disjointed system becomes very cohesive, brings tremendous vibrancy to the whole system, becomes lit up. Suppose physics, the moment, don't you realize when you study physics, as soon as you discover the quantum phenomena, straight away the issue of chemical bonds and how your periodic table comes into being came into immediate got validity straight away. It acquired tremendous power because of physics. In the same way, I'm telling the world, telling the science community today, do you know how science will progress further? Not by attacking religions, by looking at the deeper ideas of religion, not this kind of airy face, but the deeper ideas of religion, and saying, my God, this can explain quantum mechanics better than we can. So we are looking for a reconciliation at the deeper level, which will in a way show not only reconciliation between multitude of religious worldview, but also a science-oriented worldview. When you bring about this reconciliation, it brings tremendous thrill to anybody studying either of these subjects. They are not at loggerheads, they are complementary with each other. And that is what I am promoting, and I am promoting in a big way. The talks that I give mostly at universities are really on science and spirituality, and they are received very warmly. Because when I present this idea, I say, look, this is the kind of deeper ideas about religion, not some God sitting in the heaven and cracking a whip and setting us off. This is outdated. You need to think about this idea of spirit in a much more principle-oriented manner, and that has no difficulty with your science, whether it's neuroscience or quantum mechanics or cosmology. The moment you remove a personal God sitting in the heaven and controlling the world, things work out very well. So we need to evolve, we need to see the deeper ideas of religion, not a personality-oriented religion with a God sitting. The moment you have a God, baggage comes. When you have a personality, immediately Richard Dawkins will get up and say, now give me his address. Where does he live? What is exist? Define him, and you are in trouble straight away. So the idea of digging deeper within the religious tradition and coming up with an idea which is much more principle-oriented, means thinking about principles. That's what science is all about. It talks about the laws, the principles that govern reality. It doesn't get fixated on anything. In the same way, religions also have to be released from the idea of a personal God. And people somehow would say, Dilip bhai, this is too much, don't do that. I said, if you want to reconcile at the deeper level, please now grow out. This idea of a super personality called God is becoming tiresome. It will not fit in with a science-oriented worldview. You are at loggerheads straight away. And then which of your gods is for real? Straight away, friction in the name of religion. You need to transcend. It is a marvelous idea to think of God like a personality and as a kind of super personality and set you off. That's a ploy. Once you recognize that as a ploy, then you can grow out of it. You see, this is the struggle that we face. And the modern youth are showing that this dislike of a personal God by moving away from religion. Unless religions become more mature, they will lose the youth. So this is a pointed question that will in a way force a reconciliation between science and spirituality, and a reconciliation between a multitude of religious worldviews. And I'm looking forward to this challenge. It's a marvelous thing to explore.